The night was unusually silent, as if the world itself held its breath beneath a sky woven with silver threads of starlight. On the lonely hilltop, Elara adjusted her old brass telescope, its surface tarnished by time but still faithful to her gaze. For years, she had spent her nights here, chasing the secrets hidden beyond the dark velvet of the heavens. But tonight felt different. The stars seemed closer, their light warmer, as though they were watching her back. She leaned forward, her eye against the cool glass lens. The constellation of Lyra shimmered brighter than usual. Then, without warning, a faint hum vibrated through the telescope, soft, melodic, almost like a sigh. Elara froze. The hum turned into a whisper, so delicate it could have been the wind, yet it carried her name. Elara. She pulled away, heart pounding, but the sound echoed again, this time inside her head. Trembling, she looked once more through the telescope. The stars blurred, then realigned, forming the shape of a city of light suspended among the constellations. Towers of crystal floated in space, bridges made of stardust arched between them, and faint silhouettes moved within, not human, but radiant beings of pure luminescence. Elara's breath caught in her throat. The whisper returned, clearer now, calling her forward. "Find us, before we fade." She stepped back from the telescope, unsure whether she was dreaming or standing on the edge of something extraordinary. Above her, one star pulsed softly, brighter than the rest, as though it were alive, waiting. Elara glanced once more at the night sky and whispered back, "I'm listening." And in that instant, the stars seemed to breathe. The following night, the wind carried a strange scent, a mix of iron, smoke, and something faintly sweet, like burnt sugar. Elara stood outside her observatory, eyes lifted to the heavens, when a blinding streak of light tore across the dark horizon. It wasn't like any meteor she had ever seen. The trail it left shimmered in hues of gold and violet, twisting and pulsing as if alive. She ran after it, her boots crunching against frost-kissed grass, heart racing faster than her thoughts. The streak descended into the forest beyond the hill, vanishing behind the treeline with a soft, echoing boom. When Elara reached the spot, she found the air thick with heat and glowing dust swirling like fireflies. In the center of a small crater, something moved. It wasn't a rock, it was a child-shaped figure, faintly glowing from within, curled up and trembling. Its skin was translucent, veins flowing with liquid light. When it looked up, its eyes were twin stars, brilliant and endless. Elara knelt beside it, whispering gently, "You're safe now." The creature flinched, then reached out a trembling hand, fingertips brushing hers. Instantly, a rush of visions filled her mind, vast galaxies, spinning suns, and a constellation torn apart. Voices echoed like wind through glass. "We are fading, the balance is breaking." The glowing child spoke, its voice soft, like distant music. "I fell. My home, shattered. The constellation of souls is dying." Elara's heart ached with awe and fear. She wrapped her coat around the small being, shielding it from the cold. Overhead, the stars flickered, as if watching. "Don't worry," she whispered, holding it close. "We'll find your way home." And somewhere far above, one star blinked in reply. For days, Elara studied the strange patterns the fallen star child drew in the dust. They were symbols, constellations that didn't match any known map of the night sky. Each night, she traced them beneath the telescope's pale light, and each time, the stars above seemed to shift, responding to the shapes below. One evening, when the moon hung full and heavy, the child stirred from sleep. Its glow had dimmed, its voice weak. "The path must open," it murmured, pointing toward the forest. A soft wind rose, carrying faint whispers, the same voice that once called Elara's name through her telescope. Guided by instinct and the child's trembling hand, Elara followed the sound deep into the woods. There, half hidden beneath moss and roots, stood an ancient stone circle, weathered, silent, yet humming faintly beneath the moonlight. Symbols identical to the child's drawings glowed faintly across its surface. As the moon reached its zenith, the child stepped into the center and lifted its hand. Threads of light spilled from its fingers, weaving into the air like ribbons of gold. The stones began to vibrate, their hum rising into a chorus, low, resonant, and beautiful. Elara shielded her eyes as a surge of radiance burst forth, forming a shimmering archway of starlight. Through it, she could see a glimpse of another sky, brighter, alive with colors that Earth had never known. "Elara," whispered the voice she now knew came from beyond the stars, "the balance is breaking. You must come." The child reached for her, its eyes pleading. Without hesitation, Elara stepped through the glowing portal. The air changed, lighter, colder, filled with a pulse like the heartbeat of the universe. And behind her, the gate sealed with a sigh of light. Elara stumbled forward, her breath stolen by the vastness before her. She stood on a floating bridge made of liquid starlight, suspended in an endless sky. Around her drifted fragments of shattered constellations, glowing shards of forgotten worlds, spinning slowly in the darkness. Each fragment pulsed faintly, as though still alive, whispering fragments of memories, laughter, songs, and wishes once spoken by dreamers on Earth. The star child stood beside her, its light flickering weakly. "This was our home," it said, its voice trembling. "The kingdom of constellations." But something broke the harmony, and now, the stars are dying. From the mist of cosmic dust ahead, a figure emerged, tall, radiant, and cloaked in the shifting light of galaxies. His eyes were twin suns, ancient and sorrowful. "I am the Star King," he said, "guardian of the celestial order." His voice was calm, yet heavy with grief. He extended his hand, and before them appeared a grand vision, the night sky of Earth, where entire constellations flickered, their light fading. "When your world forgets its dreams, our stars lose their strength," he explained. "The connection between human hope and celestial light is broken." Elara looked at the fragments floating around her, pieces of the sky she had loved since childhood. She reached out, touching one. It glowed brighter, warm beneath her fingertips. "Then it can be restored," she said softly. The Star King nodded, a faint smile touching his luminous face. "Only by one who still believes in wonder." He placed his hand over her heart, and her telescope appeared beside her, now glowing like molten silver, its lens filled with the light of 1,000 suns. "Go, Elara," he whispered. "Restore what was lost." The air shimmered as Elara lifted the transformed telescope, no longer a mere instrument of glass and brass, but a celestial staff, alive with cosmic energy. Stars flared in response, their dim light flickering like dying embers awaiting her call. The Star King's voice echoed faintly in her mind. "Remember, every light begins with belief." Beside her, the Star Child's glow weakened, its body dissolving into faint motes of gold. "Hurry," it whispered, "before the darkness consumes us." Around them, the kingdom of constellations began to collapse, its bridges crumbling, its fragments swallowed by shadow. Elara closed her eyes. She thought of every night she had watched the stars, every dream she had whispered into the dark sky. She raised the staff high, and a radiant pulse erupted from it, sweeping across the heavens. The broken constellations shattered once more, then reformed, brighter, more beautiful, each piece aligning like musical notes in a forgotten song. The void retreated, replaced by an ocean of glowing light. The constellations reconnected, Orion, Lyra, Andromeda, all blazing anew, singing with reborn harmony. The Star Child's form began to rise, its voice filled with gratitude. "You remembered us," it said softly. "Now we can return." Its body unfolded into pure light, ascending toward the heavens until it became a single shining star, brighter than all the rest. Elara stood silently as the bridge beneath her began to fade. The Star King's voice returned, soft and proud. "The stars are safe, Dreamkeeper." When she opened her eyes again, she was back on her hill under the night sky. The telescope rested beside her, warm and glowing faintly. Above, one new star pulsed gently, a silent promise that the bond between heaven and earth would never fade again.